Hello, and welcome to Vintage Magazine Monday. Rod and Custom, November of 1957. 32 today, the newest Deuces. We've got a handful of 32 Fords inside to take a look at. We've got a covered car, great looking Buick there. And in the styling section, we got modern trends, fore and aft, front end and back end treatments of the day. And the end of 1957. Getting in. We're moving on to the 58 Hot Rod Annual. Pick yours up today for 75 cents. Or pick up 6 big issues of Rod and Custom for $1. Of course, we got our table of contents. Always stop that here. Let you guys kind of look forward in the magazine. Be honest, Charlie's ad. Fender skirts, head gaskets, pinstriping. Starting line, we're talking about some go-karts in this issue. A cool little movie poster here for the Devil's Hairpin. Don't know that I've seen that one. May have to look it up, check it out. Letters to the editor. Of course, I'll pan through those. Could be some good reads in there. Always pause, zoom in on your devices to read or see more. We got the double page J.C. Whitney. Again, more pinstriping. Some white walls, spinners, exhaust, custom grills. There's a gorgeous cover car. Good looking Buick there. Some nice custom split fins out back. A little cleaner up front. Embodying fewer changes than you'd expect, this Roadmaster bears the touch of the Mets magic. Take a look inside. Becoming a Mets trademark, the grille from 35 Chevy reposes between the bomb-like bumper guards. Hooded headlights are lined with flat-top rims from a 57 Chevy. And below, the twin-fendered view from the side. Nice profile shot. Two-eyed taillights stare rearward beneath the split appendages, tapering wind splits terminating at taillight. Is metal cut from an 8-foot exhaust tube on a diagonal, welded to the Buick's fenders just above the fender skirts. Note fin stripes. Modern trends, fore and aft. I'm going to look at some different front end and back end treatments. Very intriguing front end treatment on a 50 Chevy shows how removal of stock type bumper with replacements, individual horizontal bumperettes made from links of drive shaft tubing, alters completely car's front end. So as not to slight older car fans, here's an early Chevy, nicely updated. Rod and Custom feature car from August issue has been redone to include over-under lights with chrome-rimmed park lights below. Cadillac influence shows up here on this Merc in the form of split-type bumpers. Grille cavity is neatly filled with plated expanded metal. Plain nose Oldsmobile features a forward look of glitter, what with chromium lined grille opening and myriad teeth secured to a straight across the grille. Kind of an aggressive look there in the front end. More fore and aft. Small oval cavity has been cleverly worked into the front of this 41 Chevy. Another interesting touch for a 16-year-old car is French lights. Guard grille, free bumper, lens wide width, plate bracket from a 49 Chevy. 41s were once high-ranking in popularity for customizing. It's nice to see once make comeback. A pleasing front end has finally been put on a Studebaker in the form of a protruding opening, a vertical tooth grille, Thin horizontal strips running from side to side below. Unique look on the Studi. Shades of the Rod and Custom pickup. Dream truck innovations are beginning to show up. Here, a Merc has been fitted with plastic tip grill bar, indirectly lighted park lights, and several smaller bars to complement it. Oddity is aerial protruding from bomb-like housings beneath outer bumper tips. Rounded hood corners and striping his old hat, but expanded metal grille under bumper is a refreshing sight. Thin bars again make up an interesting grille for this Buick, but here clever use of paint outlines the oval grille more strongly than formed contour lines in the metal could. Note how paint two-toning runs along hood lines around the grille, then ends in a point centered beneath. Nice too are the split bumpers, which tend to allow more grille to be seen. Give it better symmetry, though less protection. Waterfall type grille seems to update this 53 Chevy, while lack of ornamentations emphasizes lines. Though this Chevy is the same year as the one above, clever use of trim and forethought makes them as different as black and white. This example used contrasting paint to emphasize Buick light rims, has Nerf bars instead of bumpers. Incidentally, Nerfers are becoming increasingly popular for use on customs, despite they began on race cars, progressed to competition hot rods, then on to street rods. An interesting innovation is the use of twin Packard light lenses in the stern of this Mercury. Such treatment is indicative of the trend. If some's good, more is better treatment, and a termed fishtail. Alien-built Finn Merc, May of Rod and Custom, has had its appendages emphasized by simple expedient of colorful two-toning around the edges. Good candidate of a what's it would be this Barris built custom. It's a 48 Studebaker, customized 3 years ago at that. Filled tail end proceeds flip top forward with similar on top trunk lid by many years. 2 high fenders on this car were built years before the Finn era. Who's copying from whom? Aft portion of this cleverly designed Chevy is highlighted by protruding taillights, emphasis on which is placed by sweeping spear two-toning job. No longer popular, fastback Chevy styling here has been complemented by the removal of stock taillights. Lenses are now in the overrider. A few more examples here. Owner of this 56 Chevy has followed the old belief that Detroit's designing might not be so bad underneath all that junk they hang on. Thus, removal of all the trim has revealed neat lines and emphasis added where necessary. Example is slightly extended rear fenders, which overhang but don't detract from the stock taillights. Popular tail end treatment is the addition of rearward slanting Packard taillights, disclosed here on a Chevy. Once again, simplicity is the keynote. All ornaments and hardware having been dumped, a question arises as the practicality of, again, cluttering purposely smooth surfaces by pop porridge of pinstriping. Another Chevy from an aft view is this time Chrysler lights in their entirety placed on a stove bolt. Look pretty good, but fenders had to be extensively altered to fit. One of the best things that could have happened to a Cadillac, we've admittedly opinionated. Tail fins were removed from the standard of the world, and taillights repositioned lower than stock. Dual exhaust above each side of the bumper preceded later Eldorado, which used similar gimmick but for taillights. Aft canted lenses on an old serve to lengthen the car from a side view, simulate modern fin types. Great look there. Putting wheels under the Peasant, doing some karting. Karting's really starting to take off there in the mid to late 50s. Small section there. Breaking down all the carts. The 32 today, proving that the famed Deuce is ageless. Below are a few examples from yesteryear, perhaps by their license plates dated, but otherwise just as new as the one built right now. Top left, a pair of competition roadsters at the lakes in 1950. Top right, a deeply channeled four-door from 52. Lower left and lower right, another Wineland job, his transportation across the U.S. in 54. Getting into some featured 32s. Got a 32.5 window. California Neil's search carried him to Utah before suitable 5-window coupe was unearthed. Fenders were all replaced, one new, one being bought for the giant sum of $1. Former owner had discarded deck lid to make room for a pickup box, so another deck lid had to be found. The engine was a 4. Shot of the interior. One of the best of the recently built Deuces, the shining example, has a power plant, a reworked Olds V8, which joins a 39 Ford transmission. Power finally reaching the ground, going through a 378 gear ratio rear end. Brakes and front end are from a 41 Ford, wheels are from a 48 Merc. Outside of 3-inch chop job, all of the bodywork was devoted to eliminating the myriad of dents which a 25-year-old car usually acquires. Interior is a light blue naga hide combined with black mohair. Dago axle drops nose. Good looking 5-window. Pretty simple. Moving on to a 3-window. Got a nice look there. 21-year-old bodyman Walt Price's ambition was to have rare stock appearing Deuce, but a performing one at the same time. Thus, his 32 is unchopped, unchanneled, full fendered, and hooded. Of course, certain things were mandatory, such as filled shell, forward rake, white-sided tires, and the latest innovation for 32s, a red-hot Chevy V8. Walt used a shell adapter to unite his Chevy bell housing to a 49 Mercury transmission. The engine was changed to Corvette specifications, which helped give top quarter-mile speed of 96 in full street trim. The 2,600-pound Deuce cost its builder $2,500 for a figure of less than $1 a pound. Of course, he, being an experienced metalman, helped considerably in shaving the price. Like millions of Fords that preceded it, owner Price saw it to it that his 32 was painted black. Interior is harmonizing naga hide. All black on black. Here we got a 32 pickup. Hard to find pickup was located piece by piece, the finished product having been completely assembled by owner Dietz over a 2-year period. The unkempt cab was first relieved of all of its dents, then channeled 5 inches and the top chopped 4. Some 7 inches were cut from the bed's length prior to installation, but it took addition of fenders at normal location to get the low-down suggestion across to the onlookers. Original plans called for a late overhead V8, but Stan later decided to keep the half-ton mostly nearly Ford. Went to a healthy flathead from a 49 Ford board to give 256 cubic inches. An Isky cam actuates stock valves, though adjustable tappets. 8.5 to 1 sharp heads are used in a dual manifold. No quarter-mile engine, but sufficient to propel the hauler on the street with late stocks alongside. All bodywork and assembly was performed by owner at his place of employment, D. Westcott's Body Shop in Portland. The interior treatment of black and white unborn calf skin lends the Western motif. Exterior coloring is 57 Mercury Persimmon. Completed and in an up-to-date shape, the refurbished Deuce is ideal for street use, gathering of trophies at shows, or for use on his father's big ranch. Nice Ford. We've got another 5-window. Dragon Spokane, Washington. Though not radically modified appearance-wise, Little Stinker represents hundreds of hours of painstaking labor. The Titian red coupe reflects an ultra-smooth body. Vivid contrast being provided by the white top, spare cover, and running boards. The ever-present moon discs signify potential of powerful flathead. Potent Ford V8 boasts 274 cubic inches through 3 3/8 by 4 bore stroke. Other goodies are Escuderian cam, Howard pistons, Hoffy heads, Edelbrock manifold, headers, of course, a port and relief valve job, and chopped flywheel, a pure 5-window indeed, highly representative of popular treatment for Ford's alluring and classic offering a full 25 years ago. There's a little Stinker on top. Good looking hot rod. Got a Roadster. Of the 7 Deuces revealed in this issue, 3 are Chevrolet powered. The ratio here being about what it is to across the country, as 32 after 32 falls into the hands of those wanting prodigious amounts of torque produced by an engine relatively minute in physical size. Neat installation of this turbo fire was carried out by Garrity Automotive, situated in the owner's hometown. This charmer was extensively covered in the past edition of Rod and Custom, but those recalling that issue will remember that a flathead V8 had provided the go. Chevy V8 is essentially stock since owner felt added output was unnecessary. Ingeniously devised front engine mounts were cut from sheet metal bent to shape desired, then welded into shape. A 3-window. Popular for Deuce use is an engine of Chrysler origin. DeSoto providing the impetus in this example. This particular car is a classic study in Deuceism, since it typifies a combination street competition car and is a real shining example. Popular for use on cars with engine partially or even fully exposed are large over-the-frame headers, which are capped for street use. The exhaust then routed through a hidden head pipe to legal type muffler concealed beneath the car, exiting aft. Widely used on Deuces is a Nerf bar, few examples ever being identical since they are build-them-yourself items. Neat round headlights are of Pontiac origin, this type being favored over 39 dewdrops, used clear back prior to World War II. Top chopping a Deuce is not complicated as on a later car, but certain tricks can be used to ease the job. Top has to be stretched to fit by slanting windshield posts back. As a result, door tops have also to be lengthened along their leading edges. Another side profile. It's got a really good look there. Got another Roadster. Sought after as the car for 25 years, the Roadster styling appeals to one and all. When converted to high-performance street machinery, Deuce Roadster still boasts the types of features and gimmicks popular way back, except that tried-and-true flathead engine has given way to potent V8 by Chevy. Four-inch channel of Titian red hot rod conceals frame. Popular tilt stems from Dagood axle. Smaller in front tires. Valley Custom Shop is responsible for neat filling of deck lid and tailpan. Rear wheels have been reversed to widen tread, necessary with channeling to prevent tire body rubbing. Engine quarter fat modifications and Edelbrock manifold has been well ported. Unusual rocker arm covers simulate dual cam heads but are for looks only. The car was only recently completed. Engine and deep dish steering wheel are only outward indications that car doesn't date back to the late 30s or early 40s. This is one classic that doesn't need to follow styling trends to be modern and ageless. Does have some unique valve covers there. Kind of see them. Very interesting. The 32 Ford as seen by the father, the girlfriend, the guys at the Jags, John Law, the mother, the owner, and the Deuce itself. Bring them back, maybe not alive, but nearly any T can be restored. A continuation of the T special we've seen in the previous issues. Got a cameo full of T parts. Next best to finding a complete Model T is locating up parts from which to assemble one yourself. Restored chassis, ready for the body. Unusual types of T's are good basis for restoration jobs, but purchase should be shunned if hard to find items are not included, such as fire axe, lanterns, and nozzles. Check all the wheels before purchasing an unrestored car. Split or chipped spokes will mean replacement. Restoration procedure is careful sanding of all parts and clear finish. Restoration's reward. Nostalgic scene is often recalled as a 14 touring chugs its way to the top of a thinly wooded hill. Shot could have actually been taken some 40 years ago. Photos like this are valuable aid later in restoration work. Photo was taken prior to body dismantling, so a relationship of panels and the wooden bracing could be recorded. At long last, hydraulics for the Model A. Converting from the cable to hydraulic brakes. How to go on gas, part 2. Again, talking about fuels and different things to improve performance, how it's all related. Ignition, odds and ends. Little tidbits there. Things not as they seem. Fins are actually metal and not plastic. Reader's Car of the Month. We got a 39 Ford. Delano is the center of California's cotton industry, and Nels Jensen's 39 Ford is the center of attraction for its townspeople. 2 years were required to turn a real ragged piece of iron into this beauty. Just give it a good look. Hear and see. She's got a great idea. Turn the new car back into a Model A. Cartoon contest. Looks like we're getting to the end. A little re-chroming, replaying, and how to go on gas. The back pressure. You guys want to catch that one. Trend Books Custom Cars Annual. And wrap her out with a little ad on the back. Made it to the end. As always, I do appreciate you looking. And we'll see you next time.